The number expected to go up, unfortunately, and then that debris field with who knows how many more victims might still be yet to be found.
Yeah.
They're still there, and it's going to be a while.
And you mentioned the numbers, and that's why in these kind of really unfortunate, tragic circumstances, those numbers are roving a little bit in terms of the patients and the folks who are, have been released from the hospital, and the folks who we know have passed away.
All right.
Afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Grace McKenna.
And I'm Brooke Hash. We are coming to you live here in the 11 o'clock hour, awaiting a news conference from the Louisville Regional Airport Authority talking about that UPS cargo plane crash that happened yesterday just around 5:15. We've all seen the horrific video from many angles of this crash. We know 9 people at this point. That is the number of confirmed dead, though we've been told by both the mayor and Governor Andy Beshear that number is expected to increase, with 16 people reported missing by family members, and U of L Health telling us that they had 15 people sent to the hospital last night, 13 of whom have been released, but that means 2 are still critical in the burn unit.
Yeah, so that is part of why, we're still sort of piecing together who all was involved, how many people were involved, because it's unclear, and why we are going to continue to see those numbers update. That's certainly something that we could get here in just a few minutes with our city officials who are out at the airport authority about to give that update. Hopefully we're starting to get a bigger picture, and hopefully the news is even more people released from the hospital.
We hope so. Obviously, our thoughts are with the families who lost loved ones last night, and for the 2 that are very much fighting for their lives in that burn unit. We can only imagine the pain. We know NTSB should be in Louisville at any moment. They might be a part of this news conference for all we know. And so we're going to bring that to you live here on the air on WHAS 11 News, as well as on our Plus channel, which we are streaming and have been for the last hour on WHAS 11 Plus. A little bit more details about this plane as we await the news conference. It was headed for Honolulu, Hawaii last night, ready for a 9-hour trip. So it was fuel packed with the jet fuel.
Loaded down with thousands and thousands of pounds of fuel, ready to go ahead and make that trip to Honolulu, which of course, like you mentioned a little bit earlier, means this is not a story that just impacts our city. This is a story that really has a cross-country impact for us.
Yeah, we know that our pilots come from all over. UPS Worldport, we are headquartered here. This is home to thousands of UPSers, as they call them, but they come from all over, and we have not had any identification from any of the victims in this crash. If you've seen the video of the crash, though, it would be pretty unimaginable to think that anyone survived that from the plane. That has not been confirmed just yet by any officials. You can see the plume of smoke there. We had about 220,000 pounds of fuel, which is why that smoke just billowed over from that Grade Lane area, Fern Valley Road location near the airport, over into Jeffersonville, Indiana. Yeah. So for a time, that shelter in place, they told everybody to turn off their air, their AC, the heat, whatever you might have had ventilating in your home. They said to shut it off. And that did lift for a while, but now there's still a quarter of a mile shelter in place just around the radius around the airport.
And that is also an area that folks are being asked to avoid today. They have that Grade Lane and Fern Valley Road area shut down while investigators and first responders are still on the scene. Because again, like you mentioned, this is just how impactful that fire on the plane was, that first responders have been on the scene ever since, trying to get a hold of that scene, trying to get everything under control, keep control of it, and why it is so important, folks. If you frequent that Grade Lane area, we know it's a big industrial area. A lot of semi-drivers have to go through that area for their work. They really need everybody to stay away so that those first responders can do the work that they're doing as safely as possible and as quickly as possible to begin to piece together really what happened.
And speaking of pieces, if you find any debris in your yard, whether it's a business or your home, do not touch it.